First at 10, we begin with the latest out of Windsor Locks. Tonight, a look inside the small community of pilots who fly World War-era planes across the country. Just last week, 7 people were killed when a B-17 bomber went down at Bradley International Airport. It is Sunday, October 6th. Thank you for joining us on the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Audrey Kuchin. Tonight, Fox 61 sat down with a Connecticut pilot who has spent years flying the exact plane involved in Wednesday's fiery crash. Fox 61's Zania Maldonado joining us live from Bradley Airport, where she has the story for us this evening. Zania?
Audrey, only a small number of experienced pilots can fly vintage military planes, and last week's accident here at Bradley Airport has hit their community hard. Craig McBurney spent 4 years of his career flying the B-17 bomber that went up in flames last Wednesday. The pilot, Ernest McCauley, reported a problem with the plane's engine before touching down back at Bradley, losing control, and then crashing into a de-icing facility.
We really started pulling together to see, do we know who was flying the airplane? And to be honest with you, none of us have really speculated. We don't know.
7 people lost their lives.
All of our group of pilots and veterans, we're all saying our thoughts and prayers for this horrible tragedy and the loss of life and the loss of an historic aircraft as well.
The Killingworth native says back in the 1990s, he flew the historic plane for the Collings Foundation with honor and privilege, stating vintage World War-era aircraft consistently undergoes maintenance and receives strict oversight from the FAA and qualified aviation teams.
The truth is that these aircraft are so valuable now and they're so rare that they are meticulously restored and maintained.
McBurney describes seeing passengers on the B-17 years ago, reliving World War-era memories, good and bad, but hopes the Collings Foundation continues the tradition of offering tours.
That aircraft had a soul. That aircraft flew around the country for years and was able to provide experiences to veterans, and the veterans, their children and their grandchildren who maybe didn't understand the sacrifices of World War II.
And the NTSB says their investigation continues to discover the cause of the crash. Live at Bradley Airport, Zania Maldonado, Fox 61 News.
Zania, thank you. Tonight we are hearing from survivors about the final moments after impact. Our first glimpse at that moment, the B-17 went down on runway 6 at Bradley. It reads in part, we weren't aware of any problems other than that we were landing. It's still so surreal, but it was fast. There was not time for anyone to have suffered. The Collings Foundation, which owned the vintage B-17s, has suspended their flight operations, and